Welcome back. At one of the most recent meetings, the Wake County Board of Commissioners approved the acquisition of the Shugart property, the third in a slate of projects brought before the board in an August 2015 work session. Containing 112 acres of open space, the property is located off of Good Life Road in Buffalo Creek. Joining us to talk about the Shugart property and the Wake County Open Space Preservation Program is none other than Chris Snow, Director of Wake County Parks, Recreation, and Open Space. Thank you so much for being here.
Good to be here.
Chris, what is the purpose of the Open Space Preservation Program?
The county's open space program strives to protect a portion of the county's land and water resources for current and future citizens. So this could be land that protects riparian corridors, it could be managed production of field and forest, it could be passive recreation. So the program has a lot of goals rolled into it.
And what's the criteria that's used to measure whether or not a property is qualified under the county's open space program?
So we look at a property from a lot of different perspectives. Ultimately, we're interested in its ecological importance. So we're looking at things like the habitat types that are on it, the amount of water resources, be they streams or wetlands, floodplain. We're also looking at opportunities for passive recreation. So we try to look at a property from a lot of different perspectives.
What about the Shugart property in particular? What makes this property unique?
The Shugart property is adjacent to Robertson Mill Pond Preserve. So one of the first things that drew us to it was its adjacency to the property, the opportunity to potentially expand Robertson's Mill Pond Preserve onto this property. The Shugart property contains a lot of the habitat, the blackwater cypress swamp habitat that was really important to us at Robertson's Mill Pond. And so it's a continuation of the same kinds of landscapes that we're already in. Plus it gives us some high and dry for potentially other passive recreational opportunities, potentially trails and those kinds of things.
And how would this property give residents an opportunity to enjoy this area?
So again, it's adjacent to the Robertson's Mill Pond Preserve. So our thinking is that we could expand the preserve. Right now, if you come to Robertson's Mill Pond, you're pretty much limited to water pursuits, either canoeing, kayaking, fishing. But the Shugart property gives us some upland area, so we could have some land-based trails, potentially hiking opportunities, wildlife viewing areas, those kinds of things.
Are there other properties that might benefit from this particular acquisition?
Buffalo Creek is really important to the county. Robertson's Mill Pond was kind of the key to getting us in Buffalo Creek. We were really interested in the mill pond and the historic nature of the mill ruins and the natural blackwater cypress swamp habitat. But since then, we have acquired several other properties, including the Shugart property. And so right now we own about 400 acres in Buffalo Creek. So we're really excited that potential someday all that could be linked together in one nature preserve, open to the public for a lot of different passive recreational pursuits.
Are there any other properties that you can update us on?
Probably the biggest thing we have going right now outside of the acquisitions that we're talking about is the Turnip Nature Preserve, which is in the Marks Creek watershed, so just a little bit west of Buffalo Creek. And Turnip would be the second nature preserve that the county hopes to open. We have about 500 acres of contiguous property that we would like to open for passive recreational pursuits, a lot of hiking opportunity, wildlife viewing. There's a lot of wetlands on this property, a lot of big rock outcrops. So it's a really, again, a kind of unique and different piece of property, which is what the open space program is all about, these kind of ecologically significant pieces of property.
And where can residents find out more about the county's open space program?
Folks who want to know more could visit the county's website, www.wakegov.com, click on the parks link, and then down at the bottom there's a link to the open space program, give you a lot of information.
Chris Snow, Director of Wake County Parks, Recreation, and Open Space, thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
And when we return, we'll show you what's being done to maintain the #1 spot as the healthiest county in the state. Stay tuned.